Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Makeup Revolution X The Grinch collection. If you do want to see a review and a demo, then please keep watching. As a huge favor, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment anything down below. I greatly appreciate it. I read all the comments and I'll do my best to reply back. I want to give a shout out to my subscriber that requested this review. If you guys have any products that you would like me to review on my channel, let me know in the comments down below. I purchased a few items in this collection. I purchased the makeup sponge, I got the highlighter, I got the liquid eyeliner trio. I also picked up the lip kit and the eyeshadow palette. I really wanted the smaller fuzzy eyeshadow palette, but they didn't have it in stock. I'll pop a picture over here what my local Target had. They didn't have a lot of products. We're first going to start off with the makeup sponge. I'm going to insert the clip. This retails for $6. I do want to read a little bit about this sponge on Target's website. It's time to party like you're at the top of the naughty list. Introducing the Grinch X Revolution, the ultimate makeup collection to mark this unhappy holiday season. Merry whatever blah blah blah. This is as merry as it gets. Blend your way to a seamless base with this Heart Beauty Sponge. This multi-use accessory can be used to apply primer, foundation, concealer, set powder, and can even be used for contouring and highlighting. Inspired by the moment the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes. Here's a closer look on what the packaging looks like. It says Revolution X The Grinch. Up at the top it says the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. On this side of the packaging you have a picture of the Grinch in a Santa suit. On the other side, it says Revolution X The Grinch. On the back, it says Revolution X The Grinch. This is as merry as it gets. Whoville Heart Beauty Sponge. On the bottom, it states it was made in China. Here's what the actual makeup sponge looks like. It is very soft. It says Revolution X The Grinch. It's shaped like a heart. I'm gonna wet the makeup sponge and I'll be right back. Here's what the makeup sponge looks like dampened. It did expand a bit, and again, it is very squishy. I already moisturized and cleansed my skin, and I applied primer as well. For foundation, I'm going to be using the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation in the shade Toasty Toffee. Let's see how the makeup sponge blends out the foundation. Here's how the makeup sponge blended out the foundation. The makeup sponge did absorb a lot of the foundation, but that's typical with makeup sponges. I'm gonna finish my face makeup off camera and I'll be right back to test out the rest of the products. I finished applying my face makeup off camera. I applied blush and bronzer. Here's what everything looks like. So far, I really do like the makeup sponge. Now let's move on to the lip kit. It's no longer available on Target's website. Definitely check out your local Target to see if it's available in stores. Here's a closer look on what the packaging looks like. It says Revolution X The Grinch. Then you have Max the little dog. You get 0.10 fluid ounces or 3 milliliters of product, or 0.03 ounces or 1 gram of product. Up at the top you have the shade name. This shade is called Little Max. On the side of the packaging, it says, Max, help me, I'm feeling. On the other side of the packaging, it says Revolution X The Grinch. On the back, it says Revolution X The Grinch. Underneath that, it says, I'm only talking to my dog today. This has a 6-month shelf life and it was made in China. On the bottom, you have the barcode. Here's a closer look on what the lip liner looks like. It says Revolution X The Grinch. It's wrapped up in this safety seal, which I love. I removed the plastic packaging so you can get a better look of the lip pencil. Here's what the shade in Little Max looks like. This is very pigmented. I'm first gonna line my lips with a lip liner and then we'll apply the liquid lip. Here's what the lip liner looks like. I expected the formula to be a bit more pigmented. It's not as creamy either. It's a bit stiff in the tube. Now let's see what the liquid lipstick looks like. Here's a closer look on what the liquid lipstick tube looks like. It says Revolution X The Grinch. It has little snowflakes. On the back, there's a little description. It states it was made in China, and again, it has a 6-month shelf life. On the bottom of the tube, there's nothing printed. Here's what the doe foot applicator looks like. Here's what the liquid lipstick shade looks like. It's scented. It smells like cherries. I don't like that scent. Let's see what it looks like. Here's what one layer of the liquid lipstick looks like. It's not as pigmented. You can see my natural lip peeking through. I'm gonna apply a second coat. Here's what 2 layers looks like. I definitely prefer 2 layers. I'm gonna press my lips together. I wanna feel the formula. It doesn't feel like anything is on my lips. It did remove some of the product from my top upper lip. I guess it wasn't fully dried down. It does feel very comfortable on the lips. If you like reds, you might like this lip kit. Personally, I don't like how red looks on me, and I did not like the cherry scent on the liquid lipstick. I'm just now noticing that the liquid lipstick is starting to come off on my bottom lip. I didn't eat anything, I didn't drink anything. I just pressed my lips together, so I guess the formula is not meant to be layered. That's interesting. I don't like that. Here's what the liquid lipstick looks like completely dried. I'm gonna apply a fresh swatch. Here's what it looks like freshly swatched. Looks exactly the same. Now let's move on to the highlighter. This is called the Snarky Highlighter. This retails for $10. I do want to read a little bit about this. Glow the Snarky Way with this highlighter compact. Slide the embossed Grinch head to discover a shimmering gold highlight, perfect for adding a dewy finish to your festive party looks. For on-the-glow touch-ups, flip his head and you'll find a mirror too. Here's a closer look on what the packaging looks like. It says Revolution X the Grinch. You get 0.1 ounces or 3 grams of product. Right across that, it says Highlighter Illuminator. Up at the top, it says Snarky. On this side of the packaging, it says, I ignored you fine the first time. On the other side, it says Revolution X the Grinch. On the back, it says Revolution X the Grinch again. Underneath that, it says, you're the reason the gene pool needs a lifeguard. Underneath that, it says Snarky Highlighter Illuminator, and it states it was made in China. On the bottom, next to the barcode, it states it has a 12-month shelf life. It's vegan and PETA approved. Here's what the compact looks like. This is made out of plastic. It says Snarky, and then here's what the back looks like. Here's what the actual highlighter looks like. And then on the back, there's a mirror. Let's see what this swatch is like. Ooh, this is so soft in the pan. Here's what the highlighter looks like. Wow, that's very pigmented with one swipe. That's so pretty. Let's see what the highlighter looks like applied on the cheeks. I'm getting a little bit of kick up in the pan. Let's see what this looks like. Here's what the highlighter looks like. It's so pretty. I'll apply a little bit on this side, that way we're all evened out. A little bit of product goes a long way. Again, here's what the highlighter looks like. I'm not a highlighter person. It enhances texture. Plus, I'm very oily, so I don't need highlighter. This is a pretty shade. It'll definitely suit all skin tones. Now let's see what the liquid eyeshadow trio looks like. This retails for $14. I do want to read a little bit about this set. 3 shimmering liquid eyeshadows for when you really don't give a Grinch. Here's a closer look on what the packaging looks like. Up the top, it says Revolution X the Grinch. You get 0.06 fluid ounces or 1.8 milliliters of product. Right across that, it says Liquid Eyeshadow Trio. Up at the top, you have a picture of each shade. On this side, it says Grinch Please. On the other side, it says Revolution X the Grinch. On the back, it says Revolution X the Grinch. Underneath that, it says Don't Give a Grinch Liquid Eyeshadow Set. Underneath that, it says 3 shimmer liquid eyeshadows for when you really don't give a Grinch. And this was made in China. On the bottom, it states it was PETA approved, and this has a 6-month shelf life, and it's vegan. Here's what all 3 shades look like. Here's a closer look on what the liquid eyeshadow packaging looks like. It says Revolution X the Grinch. On the bottom, you have the shade name. This shade is called Max, and this has a 6-month shelf life. On the back, it says liquid eyeshadow in different language, and then underneath that, it says it was made in China. And then again, you get 0.06 fluid ounces or 1.8 milliliters of product. Here's what the applicator looks like. It's double-sided. Max is described as a bold gold shimmer. Here's what the shade in Max looks like. It's a true golden shade. I don't like the applicator. It's made out of plastic, and I did have a hard time swatching it on the back of my hand. Let's see what the shade in the middle looks like. This shade is so pretty. This shade is called Cindy Lou Who. Cindy Lou Who is described as a rich red shimmer. Now that shade is gorgeous. Let's see what the last liquid eyeshadow looks like. Again, another beautiful shade. This shade is called the Grinch. The Grinch is described as a mean green metallic. This shade isn't as pigmented as the previous shade, and I'm not liking how this is swatching either. I didn't like the golden shade. I really loved how this shade swatched. Here's what all three liquid eyeshadows look like swatched on the back of my hand. I didn't like how the first shade in MAC swatched. This was very watery. Same thing with the last shade in the Grinch. The only shade I really loved was the shade in Cindy Lou Who. I'm not sure if my camera is going to pick it up, but in the tube you can tell it's watery, whereas this shade, it's not as watery. So see, as I'm turning it upside down, there's no water. And then when I turn this one upside down, you can see the little bit of watery liquid. That's unfortunate, but I just wanted to mention that. Here's what the liquid eyeshadows look like dried down. They are not budging at all. Except for the green one. I feel like this one didn't dry down completely. It's rubbing off. But the other two shades are dried down completely. Taking a clean fluffy brush, I have some translucent powder. We're gonna apply these liquid eyeshadows to see how they perform. I'm first going to be using the shade in the Grinch. Apply this directly on my eyelid. Take a little bit on my outer corner. I'll use my fingertip to blend it out. That blended out so easily. And I didn't get any patchiness. I like the formula so far. Taking the shade in Cindy Lou Who, apply this to the center of my lid. Again, using my finger, I'm going to blend this out. Here's what the shade in Cindy Lou Who looks like. Again, it blended out so beautifully, very easily. A little bit of product goes a long way. This formula is stunning. Taking the last shade in Max, I'm gonna apply this to my inner corner and drag it up to the shade in Cindy Lou Who. And then again, using my finger, I'm gonna blend this out. Here's what the shadow in Max looks like. Again, it blended out very easily. I'm gonna be doing the same thing on the other eye. Here's how the eyeshadow look turned out. I'm loving this liquid eyeshadow formula. It's super easy to work with. A little bit of product goes a long way. For mascara, I'm gonna apply the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. Here's what the eyeshadow looks like with mascara. For $14, I would highly recommend these liquid eyeshadows. The formula blends very easily and it's pigmented. I'm going to redo my eye makeup off camera so we can test out the bigger eyeshadow palette. This retails for $20. I do want to read a little bit about this. I'm not mad, it's just how my face looks. Channel your favorite antisocial socialite with the Grinch eyeshadow palette. Flip open the Grinch's head to reveal 17 highly pigmented pressed eyeshadows complete with a mirror and a cutout silhouette. Here's a closer look on what the packaging looks like. It says Revolution X the Grinch. Up at the top it says the Grinch. On this side of the packaging it says I really don't give a Grinch. On the other side it says Revolution X the Grinch. On the back it says Revolution X the Grinch. Underneath that it says, I'd love to talk, but I'm in a hurry to get home and be alone. Underneath that it says the Grinch eyeshadow palette, and then you have the list of ingredients. There are some pressed pigments. Those have a little asterisk on it. So shade number 2, 5, and number 13 are pressed pigments, and this was made in China. On the bottom next to the barcode, it states it has a 12-month shelf life. It's PETA approved and it's vegan. Here's what the actual eyeshadow palette looks like. Here's what the back of the eyeshadow palette looks like. On top of the eyeshadow palette, it says, I really don't give a Grinch. And then here's what the side of the palette looks like. I really love this packaging. Let's see what the inside looks like. It comes with a mirror. Here's what all 17 shadows look like. On this little insert it says, I'm not mad, it's just how my face looks. I like the quality of the mirror, and we have the Grinch down at the bottom holding some presents. The first shade in the palette is called Seasick Crocodile. I wasn't able to find shade descriptions online. I'm just gonna swatch each shadow and then I'll blend it out. That swatched really nicely. I like how that blended out. The second shade in the palette is called Whoville. Here we have a bronze shimmer. That's so pretty. This is one of the pressed pigments in the palette. The next shade is called Mean One. Another beautiful shade. The next shade is called Snarky. That swatched a little bit patchy. I don't like how that shade blended out. The next shade is called Cindy Lou Who. This is another pressed pigment. That pink is vibrant. Next up, we have Rusting Grinch Face. That shimmer is stunning. The next shade is called Oh the Humanity. Another beautiful shimmer. Next up, we have I'm Not Going. Oh wow, another gorgeous shimmer. That shade is stunning. The next shade is called Mount Crumpet. This shade kind of disappeared. I'm gonna build it up. I guess that's a little bit better. The next shade is called His Heart Grew. This shade is pretty as well. The next shade is called Noise. I love how that green shadow blended out. The next shade is called Grinch Fingers. I like the shimmer shadow as well. The next shade is called Santa Claus. This is the last pressed pigment in the palette. Wow, very pigmented. The next shade is called Grinch Please. This shade is very pretty as well. The first shade in the last row is called Merry Whatever. I'm loving the shimmers in this palette. The second to last shade is called Antisocial. Another stunning shimmer. The last shade in this palette is called I Hate People. I didn't like how that shade swatched or blended out. I'm gonna build it up. I don't like how that shadow blended out. Here's what all 17 shades look like swatched on the back of my hand. Now we're gonna create a look using this palette. Taking a clean fluffy brush, I'm gonna dip into the shade in Noise. I'm getting a tiny bit of kick up in the pan. Apply this in my crease, going back and forth, doing windshield wiper motions. That shade is very pigmented. A little bit of product goes a long way. Doing the same thing on the other eye. Using that same brush, I'm going to dip into the shadow in Grinch Please. Again, I'm getting a tiny bit of fallout. Applying this right underneath the first shade. Again, going back and forth, doing windshield wiper motions. It almost looks like the same shade. I can't really notice a difference. Doing the same thing on the other eye, and then we'll apply a different shadow. Swapping my brush for a flat brush, I'm going to dip into the shadow in Mean One. Pack this in the center of my lid. That shimmer is stunning, and I didn't get any fallout. Doing the same thing on this eye. Swapping my brush for a clean brush, I'm going to dip into the shade in Snarky. Apply this on my outer V, doing circular motions. I like how we're looking so far. Again, doing the same thing on this side. Taking a smaller flat brush, I'm going to dip into the shadow in Grinch Fingers. Apply this in the inner portion of my eye, connecting it to the shade called the Mean One. The shade in Grinch Fingers and Mean One looks similar applied to the eye. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Using that same brush, I'm going to dip into the shadow in His Heart Grew. Apply this in my inner corner. I love how that looks. I cleanse the fallout underneath my eyes. Here's how the eye look turned out. For mascara, I'm going to apply the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. For lips, I'm going to reapply the shade in Little Max. Here's what everything looks like. My final thoughts on this eyeshadow palette is that I really do like it. I love the shimmer shadows. Some matte shadows I didn't like. This shadow in Snarky was a little bit hard to blend out on my outer corner, especially when I swatched it on the back of my hand. It looked a little bit patchy, so I shouldn't have used this shadow. I love how vibrant this shade in Noise and Grinch Please were on the eyes. A little bit of product goes a very long way. I will continue to play with this palette, and I will leave my final thoughts in the description box down below. Let me know in the comments down below if you plan on picking up this collection for yourself or for a loved one. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe. I will see you guys in my next video.